You start out here doing what you can do, what you think you can do, and then we're going to show you what you really can do.
Well, welcome, Scott.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Yeah, I just want to sit down and ask you a few questions kind of about your journey. Why don't we just kick it off by telling us a little bit about your exercise history, what
Okay.
you thought about staying in shape was before NorthStar.
Yeah, so I had a fitness program for myself prior to coming to NorthStar, and that was at a gym where I worked, so it was really convenient, which is, I think, one of the keys for maintaining dedication to a fitness program is to having a place that's readily available and clean and has all the facilities that you need. And it had several different iterations. It started off with universal gyms and some elliptical trainers and treadmills, and then it sort of morphed into a more modern workout facility that had what's called free motion machines for the resistance training, and it also had free weights as well as resistance bands, and added more cardio equipment, so it was more attractive to a wider range of people. Well, the free motion, I was told, were machines that were designed so that you could exercise on them and not injure yourself. If you followed the protocol, you're not going to get hurt. And they even had somebody there to show you how to use them. Well, I tried that, and in my own personal experience, I proved that wrong, because it didn't matter which exercise machine I used in there. If I wanted to, I could find a way to hurt myself, and that would be as much as 6 weeks off trying to do that particular exercise, and not having a lot of variety in my routine. There wouldn't be anything else I could substitute in for that. So if I injured myself with chest flies, I couldn't do any kind of chest exercise for that 6 weeks. And so it really wasn't that attractive for me anymore. So I started doing kind of a 7-minute workout, which is mostly body weight resistance type exercises, and jump rope and cardio all kind of built into one. And that interval training I enjoyed because it's high intensity, short interval. So I could get a workout done. I could do, say, 2 or 3 of those and a little bit of extra cardio, and then go hit the showers and be to work. So that was really convenient. But there again, and those exercises.
The time aspect has been very important for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're a busy guy. You've got now
13 grandchildren, and my wife and I like to do a lot of things together. We're involved with a school that she started, and we go to mass every day. So we have a schedule that's pretty well filled, our days, even in my retirement. And so, we always wanted to fit something in there together that we could do fitness wise. And this has proved to be the ideal solution. It gives us the opportunity to work this into our schedule, get a really good workout. And guess what? I haven't hurt myself in 4 years of doing this. Okay. I hurt myself in other ways, and I come in, but the staff is always sensitive to that.
Yeah.
So the staff says, okay, what's bothering you today? Well, my shoulder hurts. Okay. Well, mindful of that, what kind of motions? And then we'll just do a few different types of exercises that don't hurt the shoulder. Or my back's bothering me today. Okay, here's how we're going to stretch it out. How's it doing? We're going to modify your routine today, being mindful of that.
So they've been able to adapt, based on where your current fitness level is and what you're struggling with, to what your needs are.
Yeah, and it's a personalized, supervised. And I never had that before. I mean, I had it here and there, but mostly it was me supervising me. And
that's tough as guys. We sometimes think I can do this.
Oh yeah.
Right, and you have to kind of humble yourself in a way. But just talk about the experience, like what you feel you've done. Because before you said, you would do the workouts, maybe you got yourself injured, or maybe it's too intense. Maybe not right time, whatever the case might be. Not intense enough. The stress of the day, you just can't get your output, But so talk, maybe you could just share a little bit on your experience with, like, having someone there with that knowledge to be able to, help keep you not only performing, but excelling.
So, and it's probably not unique to me, but men tend to be really macho and want to push themselves as hard as they possibly can. And you think you're doing that all the time. In truth, you're probably not. And so, here, having that encouragement, and there's a huge psychological benefit to this. If you can get over the the macho stuff that you can do this on your own, because having somebody watch you, number one, to make sure you're doing the exercise correctly, and then pushing you to do a few more reps, or telling you this is how many reps we're going to do, and giving you that encouragement for those last 2 or 3 in that set. That's huge, because left to my own devices, I give up on those last 3 reps. I might even cut that short. I'm going to do 10 reps. Well, today I'm doing 7, but if I do 10 consistently, I make progress. And one of the things with sticking with a exercise program for me is I got to see progress. If I'm doing it for weight loss, if I'm doing it for endurance training, strength training, whatever I'm doing, it's got to work. I got to see progress. And that's the one thing I really like about NorthStar, because we have sessions where we come in and we do an assessment. Here's where you are. Here's where you were before. Here's your weight. This is what's happened. This is how much fat you have. This is how much lean muscle. So even if your weight goes up, hey, it's more up in lean muscle and it's down in fat. So that's a good thing. So that's kind of the thing that I could never do on my own. I mean, I couldn't do that if I had all the equipment at home or I had the best gym available in lacrosse without somebody walking me through it.
Right. We almost kind of shy away from the things that are difficult, like that being, measuring or weighing. Like, oh no, I don't want. I really don't want to know.
But I'll be disappointed if it's wrong. I'll have to blame the scale.
And so often we put so much emphasis on that weight, but it's really a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, let's tackle one instance. You did have an unfortunate accident with with your hip.
Yeah.
So you had a hip injury.
Yeah.
And it set you back quite a.
Yes, it did. I wasn't able to do anything for probably 8 weeks, and I noticed that significantly. Weight went up, and the rehab was slow. I was doing as much as I could to push myself, but I couldn't do the types of exercises I wanted to do at NorthStar. So I sort of put that on hold. In truth, I probably should have gotten back into that a lot sooner than I did. But as soon as I I was clear.
But that was by doctor's orders, right?
Yeah. But doctor's orders. Well, anyway, we won't go there. Trust me, I'm a doctor, right? Once I did get back, I noticed that I vastly improved my range of motion, strength, and mobility in that hip. I mean, it was really tight. But through the training process, this hip got as strong as this hip by overcoming that. So, the exercises were tailored, slowly build the strength in that hip to where it was equal to what my left hip can do. And now
can you talk a little bit more like how the team helped you in that recovery? Because we had to go back to fairly basic.
Yeah, so they helped stretch it out. That was huge, and showed me some things that I could do at home to keep it nice and stretched out. We worked the range of motion, and got it as far out as possible, and then strength training, building the strength back slowly, realizing that the right is not going to be as strong as the left, and limiting the number of reps, but trying to encourage, that same type of exercise to fatigue that we try to do for strength building, and it really helped. It really worked. So I think from that initial 8-week restriction, but then 4 weeks, I was feeling like I had fairly normal gait and much better range of motion. I wasn't hurting as much in my lower back because the hip injury really aggravated issues that I've always had with my lower back, and it made a huge difference. It really did. I mean, it was just night and day different.
Awesome. Now you've kind of watched us in our development, and you've kind of seen some of the changes we've made as a company to better personalized programs. What have you appreciated most about what NorthStar has to offer, how they help each person?
Yeah, so I think the key is the individuality. I mean, everybody's a little different, and I think that is one of the things the staff has always been very attentive to that, and see what's working, what's not working. And those regular interval progress assessments really help to kind of drill down on that and tailor the program thing.
Well, what types of things do you see yourself doing in the future that you want to stay active for?
As the body ages, exercise has been shown to prevent all those chronic diseases that we're more susceptible to as we age. The deterioration of the joints resulting in arthritis, and even cognitive decline, organ function, the kidney function and susceptibility to things like type 2 diabetes and just detox from the liver. All those things, exercise is like the key element in addition to a good diet. And so that's another thing that NorthStar does a very good job of, is stressing the importance of a good diet. Some of the promotional sort of contests that are run here, okay, let's put together a diet and an exercise program for this 6 weeks that has this goal in mind at the end of that 6 weeks, and see how you do. Are you getting enough water every day? Are you eating enough protein? Those sort of things that help you kind of realize, okay, what are the things that are high in protein that I should be eating? And am I getting enough of that to help build my muscles after post-exercise? And so those things are very much in terms of what I look for down the road is, I want to age gracefully. I don't want to be
stay
like
somebody.
Strong, right? Stay strong. Exactly. I don't want to be one of those people hunched over their walker, moving around at a turtle's pace and having a hard time going up and down stairs and limiting where I can go and what I can do because of that. So, I want to be strong for those grandkids that are, range from 12 down to 1-year-old now, 10 years from now, to be able to help them and take them fishing and, go on hikes and things like that. So if I can't stay strong and healthy, that's not going to be possible.
Yeah. Well, tell us a story about, in your everyday life where you really noticed a difference and be able to, have the strength, the energy, the stamina.
So I like to go to the shrine, and the shrine, if you park in the lower parking lot, there's a real long, steep, winding climb all the way to the top of to the shrine church and the Rosary Walk and the Stations of the Cross. And before, when I'd get up there, I'd be winded, and Jill would be winded, and then I'd sort of dial back so that I wouldn't walk so fast and I wouldn't be as winded, but Jill would still be winded. So now we can pretty much walk from the bottom to the top, and each of us is maybe a little winded, but we get there faster, we get there less winded. That's one big thing that's changed, and just the overall stamina throughout the day. One of the, if you have any kind of issues like I do with sleep apnea, one of the things I always struggle with was daytime drowsiness. But if you can keep yourself active and have a regular workout routine, that can offset a lot of those. Even with the CPAP machine, you still have a little daytime drowsiness, because I don't think, when you have apnea, that you have that good quality sleep that you really need in order to regenerate. And so, adding a little exercise routine in there really helps that a lot. So any of and weight and even glucose tolerance and that's
this is a big one.
Yeah,
this is one that people there's so many things, being hypothyroid concerns, or just inflammation. So many things come from the body's inability to be able to process food. And one of the things that resistance training does, is it creates the pull.
Mm-hmm.
It allows the body to function as it should, to process the food that we do eat.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of complications that come from that.
Yeah.
I've seen even in my own case, and a lot of people have talked about that they're feeling more satiated, but not cravings. They're not feeling as stiff and sore and achy and health issues. So as you've had similar.
I have, and it's that in conjunction with sort of making some discoveries about my own diet and what sort of things were really good and what sort of things needed to go, and not that they need to go completely. I love sweets, I love desserts, but in moderation they're fine, but left to my own devices, they wouldn't be in moderation. I tend to overdo in all of those areas. But when you feel the difference by, say when we go through one of the promotions where we have, where we pay really close attention to our diet, and we have a goal to limit that part of our diet, you realize, boy, I feel a lot better the 6 weeks. That's motivation.
It's not easy though.
No,
Sometimes.
no.
Especially if it's like sugar and
the sugar goes to the same part of the brain that cocaine, heroin, alcohol, and all the popular drugs of abuse go, which is the limbic system. And it stimulates the limbic system just like those. And the limbic system is a primitive part of the brain. It's the pleasure, pain part of the brain. And it actually has great influence over the functional part of the brain, which keeps us sane, the frontal cortex, which is our executive function. It's the part of the brain that if it gets overstimulated, says, we're not going to listen to you. This is what we need for survival. And sugar does that. I mean, sugar has that. There's this powerful craving for sugar I found, because I used to use tobacco too, is I had when I used to smoke or when I used to chew tobacco, I had this same craving for sugar that I used to have for cigarettes and chewing tobacco. And I mean, it's amazing, and that never goes away. It never extinguishes itself. And so,
it's important though, because people think that they're in this trap, of what it is, and recognition is key. But also, your body's often telling you do need something. Often there's a trigger of like, I am hungry, but I'm putting on weight.
Yeah.
And so I can't eat. So you don't eat. But then the craving gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
You can't, so you get in this nasty cycle that but it's so powerful that there's so many more things going on than just.
I didn't mean to give the limbic system such a bad rap. I mean, it is important for survival, obviously, because it's the impetus behind survival. It's that fight or flight.
People think sometimes like getting fit. The reason why you get fit is to look good.
Yeah.
Like and there's a component of that for sure. But what you're saying is that with all these things that go on in our body, like, that having that health, a continual healthy renewal through fitness provides so much more health benefit than
I think it's been shown to, a good exercise and a regular exercise program, even in patients that suffer from chronic diseases, is important in helping them manage those. So type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, cognitive decline. And if you can get somebody involved in an exercise and flexibility program, it can really help forestall some of the later complications that we see in people like that. And the decline that continues unless even with diet control and all the medicines that are available out there for high blood pressure, diabetes, you got to put fitness and into that equation, because that's a key component. And I think that's the one that probably gets the least amount of sort of lip service in a consultation with your physician. They always say, you need to exercise more. Well, what does that look like? Exercise more. Well, doc, I can't. I got this ulcer on my foot. My heart, conditions, etc. And that's where going to a place where you have somebody that's knowledgeable, somebody that's certified trainer and has gone through the program to correctly administer and supervise the NorthStar program is going to be absolutely essential, because then you can exercise to the point where you really need to, where it's beneficial, and not injure yourself and get the benefits that you need to get from it. So
that's great.
Yeah.
So one of the things we've strived for as a company is that we look for any barrier to someone to being healthy, we look to knock that down.
Yeah.
So sometimes that barrier of the fitness, like the duration of let's make it very time efficient. Well, the right types of exercise. Well, okay, let's do that right. Well, this injury. Okay, well, let's fix that.
Yeah.
Well, this, it's, the time demand. Okay, well, back to the time efficiency part, but just make sure that the stress part of it. Okay, well, having a regularly, a routine. So it's been our mission to help knock down every barrier that prevents someone being successful, and which is why we call it NorthStar, not everyday gym. Because we I do believe that we're called to be the best that we can be. And be that light for others, and that guiding star for others in our life, and you've really exemplified it. So
well, thank you.
Kudos to you.
I think NorthStar has exemplified what you need to do if you're going to. I mean, if you set your sight on creating the best exercise fitness program in your area, in the, the absolute best, you're going to succeed. Because, I mean, success is evident in the people that come here, the people that stay here. And I think one of the things that I've heard from almost everybody I've known that's in the fitness field is that they don't have the client loyalty that they need to maintain over the years. And I think that's not the case. And if it is, it's a strong resistance to exercise. Sometimes there's people that you're just not going to help very well in a program like this because they just don't have the minimum sort of level of motivation to do anything good for themselves. Unfortunately, that's a tough thing to overcome, but I don't think that's the majority of people. I think the majority of people that really want to feel better, look better, and really sort of improve their life through feeling better. I think once they realize that that's attainable and it happens quickly here, that it's an easy thing to keep up with.
Yeah. So say if we're on the fence, hey, considering that maybe they don't think they can do it, it might be too hard, they don't know what's involved, they just have some barriers of entry. What would you say to that person?
Well, I'd say that's not the case. That's, you start out here doing what you can do, what you think you can do, and then we're going to show you what you really can do. And over time, once you see yourself getting better, getting stronger, it's sort of a self-perpetuating activity now, so that you're looking forward to coming in and getting that workout and then leaving there just feeling like $1 million and taking on the world in a entirely new motivational scheme. And I think that's one of the things that has kept Jill and I mean, Jill, my wife, she's the best mom, best grandma, and best wife in the world, but she has never been able to stick to an exercise program in all the 37 years that we've been married. And the fact that she's still coming here is a huge testament, because she was the one that said, I can't do this. I can't stick with this. I got too much going on. And everything has come together very nicely for her. She's feeling better, looking better than she has in a long time. So I'm very grateful for that.
Awesome. Well, keep up the good work. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're proud of you and your progress. And,
thank you.
Yeah. Keep it going.
Yeah, we'll do.